was more hype over the PS5 logo than there was Xbox. You guys do understand that, right? And the PS5 logo, all they did was change the 4 to a 5, pimpin'.
Hello everybody, after a very long hiatus, taking some personal time off, I am back. This is Mr. Sony Pony, back to destroy the peasants again. Now today is a little heart-wrenching video because this content creator is actually one of my favorite YouTube content creators by the name of The Amazing Lucas. He does a lot of political talk. I really enjoy the things that he says, even though sometimes I may disagree with the things that he says. I really like how he formulates his videos and gets his point out there. It's really good. But in this video, it's an older video, came out in January. But as my return, I figure I would do this because it seems like The Amazing Lucas is a complete shill for Sony. So let's go ahead and get into this video and let's tear it apart.
You guys thought you were really doing something at, was it the Video Game Awards? And then with your Game Pass, and then with the PC, why would I get an Xbox? I would just buy a PC. You guys have no exclusives. What, Halo?
So let's break this down real quickly. Lucas starts off by saying, so you think you did something special at the Game Awards? Well, they did. I'm not a huge Xbox fan myself, but they did do something special at the Game Awards. Nobody was expecting Microsoft to actually reveal the Xbox Series X, what it's going to look like, and potential gameplay. Sony didn't release anything besides a logo for almost a year after Microsoft unveiled what the Series X was going to look like and some potential gameplay. And I do have to say that Hellblade looks amazing. I've played the original Hellblade and I will be playing the new one. So for you to sit there and say that they didn't do anything special just because you personally like Sony is extremely disingenuous. They rocked that Game Award with the unveiling of the Xbox Series X, and nobody can deny that. Now, Lucas goes into the very tiresome argument that so many people hear all the time of Xbox has no exclusives, and the stereotypical argument of, what's your exclusive? Halo? Even if it is Halo, it's still an exclusive. It may be going to PC also, but guess what? Microsoft owns PC, Microsoft owns Xbox, so it's still a Microsoft exclusive. It's not like Halo's coming to the Sony PlayStation 5. Even though people like Lucas will sit there and say, I don't care about Halo. What's Halo? They've ran that thing into the ground. Okay, and Sony hasn't run God of War into the ground? How many God of War games are there? There's God of War 1, God of War 2, God of War 3, God of War Ascension, God of War Chains of Olympus, God of War Ghost of Sparta, the new God of War that came out. So it's okay for Sony to take an IP and milk it for all it's worth. But when Microsoft does the same thing, that's because they ain't got no originality. When they have something good, they run it into the ground. Everybody does this. Microsoft does it. Sony does it. So for you to sit there and make fun of a company that you don't like for doing the exact same thing that the company that you do like does is extremely disingenuous. Now, people like The Amazing Lucas, JTech TV, and other Sony shills will laugh and laugh and laugh at Microsoft because, well, technically it's not an Xbox exclusive if it's going to be on the Xbox Series X, the Xbox One, and PC. So what's the problem with that? What's the problem with Microsoft wanting to make a game and opening it up for a large variety of gamers to be able to play this? You know what this is going to do? It's going to bring in more revenue for Microsoft if they launch it on multiple platforms, but keep it exclusive, which I don't think it should be exclusive. I think Sony should be able to get these games also. Me personally, I think exclusives are completely anti-consumer. locking out a specific base of people because, well, you gotta pay another $500 for this console if you want this game. I think it's very anti-consumer, but it's a smart decision to take a game that's supposed to be strictly Microsoft Xbox and put it out on PCs also. It's smart. It's business smart. This is going to make them a lot more money. So for you to sit there and joke at them, you ain't got no exclusives. I mean, if it's not coming to the Sony, isn't it an exclusive? I think an exclusive would mean that it would be exclusive to Microsoft, whether that be on PC or Xbox. They're both still Microsoft, so it's still an exclusive.
You know you guys are going to get smashed on. No pun intended. You guys know you're going to get smashed on this console war, right? You know it's happening. You guys have no hype. What, Gears of War? You want to know what I played Gears of War on? My PC.
I will definitely admit that one of the biggest issues with Microsoft in the 9th generation of consoles with the Xbox One and the Xbox One X was the fact that they kept pushing out controller after controller with no exclusives. All their games were third party. But Microsoft is not making the same mistake that they made with this new generation. Microsoft has been going buck wild, buying all sorts of game studios to make first-party exclusive titles for the Xbox Series X. The game studios under the Xbox brand now include, which we all know this one, 343, of course, the people that acquisitioned Halo, and have been making that since Bungie decided they wanted to be done with it. The Coalition, Turn 10, Rare, Global, Minecraft, everybody knows, The Initiative, Undead Labs, Playground Games, Ninja Theory. For those of you that don't know, Ninja Theory is the game company that actually rehashed Devil May Cry when they made that DMC in 2013. While it does have mixed reviews and I can understand why people don't like the game, personally I thought they did a really great job on it. But they also made Heavenly Sword, Bleeding Edge, and they're also the ones that made Hellblade. They also had a hand in helping Disney Studios making Disney Infinity 3.0, which I think was the best one of the Disney Infinity series. Kind of wish they would have kept that one going, but Disney decided they want to cut their game studio. But Ninja Theory is a really good game developer. Now that they're owned by Microsoft, it's going to be really interesting to see where they go and what type of games they're going to put out. But Xbox has also acquired Compulsion Games, Inzile, and Obsidian, which for those of you that may not know who Obsidian is, they're the original creators of the Fallout game. They also did The Outer Worlds. They did Fallout New Vegas, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, South Park The Stick of Truth. These people have made some amazing games, and Microsoft now owns Obsidian. So any game that comes out of Obsidian is going to be a first-party exclusive to the Xbox. So Microsoft is not making the same mistake that they made last time with not having any exclusives. They are going to jam-pack the Xbox Series X with exclusives. And I get where you're saying that why would you buy an Xbox when you have a PC? What about people who don't have PCs? What about people that don't want to pay the entrance cost to having a PC and playing it the best that you can? Because while yes, you can spend $500, $600, probably the cost of an Xbox Series X to actually get and build your own computer, most people think that building their own computer is too far out of their range of technological knowledge that they don't even want to mess with it. They'd rather just go out and buy a PlayStation or an Xbox and just plug it and play it. I love my PC, but I'm more tech savvy. I know how to build PCs. Not everybody does. So for you to sit there and say, why would I buy an Xbox when I could just play it on my PC? Not everybody owns PCs. Not everybody wants to own a PC. There's a lot of people who would rather game on a console over a PC. While yes, PC is superior, there are people who will choose the downgraded because they feel it's easier for them. Maybe they're casual gamers who only get to play on the weekends or every other weekend or once a month. Why are they going to go out and spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on this super PC when they're going to play it 12 times a year? They'd rather buy a console. So that argument for you rather just use your PC is completely subjective because everybody's different. Not everybody likes PC.
We got yearly exclusives. Have you even heard of that? I've never even heard of such a thing. Well, guess what? This game coming out, only PlayStation can play it for a year. Then the Xbox can have it. By the time we've gotten our hands on the game, we don't even want to play it anymore.
I kind of get the feeling that you think that 1 year exclusives is exclusive to the Sony PlayStation. Like, nobody ever has done a 1 year exclusive except for Sony PlayStation. Lots of game companies will lock down a game for a year to a specific console. This has happened quite a bit. Just on the Xbox One, there have been 122 one-year exclusives on the Xbox One. These games include the enhanced edition of Turok Dinosaur Hunter and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, Dead Rising 4, Plants vs. Zombie Garden Warfare, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Nero. These were all exclusive to the Xbox for 1 year. So I really don't understand why you're coming up in here saying, we got exclusives. Y'all heard of 1 year exclusives? I ain't never heard of that. But we gonna get this game for 1 year, and by the time blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, I don't really see where you're coming from with that, because once Plants vs. Zombie Garden Warfare, Dead Rising 4, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Nero came to the PlayStation 4, those sold like hotcakes. PlayStation people weren't like, oh, that's been out for a year? I ain't gonna play that. That's a year old. I'm gonna play a new game. They still purchased those games. They still played those games. So you get a 1 year exclusive on the PlayStation 5. Once it comes to the Xbox or PC, they're still going to play those games. They're not going to look at it like, well, that's a year old, I'm not going to play it. They're still going to buy it. They're still going to play it. So that logic right there is extremely flawed. This is just one thing that I can't stand about console peasants. I don't care who you are, PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. If you sit there and pretend that your personal choice is the absolute best out there and everybody else is garbage for choosing something besides the one you choose, I can't stand it. I really can't. Gaming is gaming. It doesn't matter what. PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, Sega, PC, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're having fun, that's the only thing that matters. Have fun gaming on whatever you want to game on. But I think that's where I'm going to end this video. It's already getting a little bit too long, but let me know down in the comments section what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.